Silence, as the earth god Get speaks to a dead pharaoh. My beloved son, thy nobility is perfect, King Tutankhamun. So runs the legend, written in gold at the dawn of history, in the only royal tomb left unrifled by robbers across the Nile from Luxor Temple at Thebes, the great capital of Egypt's ancient warrior kings. Forget, as the Pict's magic carpet carries you to the dawn of Egypt, that those wonders, the pyramids, ever existed. Abandon the eternal riddle that the Sphinx has thrown down through the tens of centuries that elapsed before this rock-carved temple of Abu Simbel was ever discovered. But bypass even this miracle of achievement to visit the west bank of the Nile at Thebes, where ancient Egypt has been brought back to vivid life, the Valley of Kings. Here, 70 generations of pharaohs were buried, with treasures for their use in the afterlife. And here, 700 generations of tomb robbers have been busy stealing priceless jewels, even from sepulchres well guarded and concealed. The whole story of Seti, the great fighting pharaoh, is pictured and written in this tomb of his, which, with its hidden traps against robbers, reaches 400 feet down under the very heart of the Theban hills. But the jewels were gone and the mummy missing when the first archaeologist found it. Across the hills to the east, the pharaoh's courtiers had less pretentious tombs, still with wall drawings depicting those scenes from their life that they hoped to resume in life after death. Here, a great state officer was entombed amid painted memories meant to placate Osiris when that god of the dead weighed his heart in judgment. His daughter goes wildfowling with him and sees he doesn't fall in. He's quite a huntsman and he likes a party. Nakht is his name, high overseer of Pharaoh's granaries, and he reckons those dancing girls are too lovely to be looked at by the slave who plays their music. So the harpist is blind. It's from tomb pictures and temple inscriptions like those on the all-powerful Queen Hatshepsut's temple facing the river that Egyptologists have built up a detailed, even an intimate picture of life 1,500 years before Christ. Hatshepsut's powerful queen was the reputed daughter of Amun, the sun god. Among these monuments you can read her boast, "To gild them I have given gold by the bushel as though it were sacks of grain." But it isn't for Hatshepsut's temple that we bypassed both Sphinx and pyramid. The Colossi of Memnon, great giant carvings, take your breath away. But even these are not our chief reason for fetching our magic carpet to Thebes, though pause we must here, near the sacred lake. Here, in the mortuary temple of all-powerful Rameses, was a statue over 1,000 tons in weight, the biggest in the kingdom, destroyed, it is said, by a Persian king when the might of the pharaohs was no more. The Ramesseum is west of the river. In ancient Egypt, Westerners were dead men, and it was to their Western tombs here that the great men took precious belongings and their recorded memories, all too often to be obliterated, in the Valley of Kings. Here's what we've come to see, the tomb of Tutankhamun, the one royal resting place unopened from the day 3,000 years ago when the young queen, Ankhesenamun, stood by her husband's gold coffin and laid a last bunch of flowers there. Never seen again until this very guard with an English archaeologist, Howard Carter, broke the seal and picked up those shriveled flowers. The boy king still lies there, where he was found 40 years ago, in the silent heart of the mountain, surrounded by the paintings that depict him mourned by his minister and meeting his legendary ancestors, First Nakht, the goddess of the sky, who would escort him to the underworld and the happy afterlife he hoped for with Osiris, king of the dead. You can conjure up the scene when Carter first peered into the tomb and saw strange animals, statues, and gold, gold, gold. The wrought gold coffin figure is polished like a mirror. This gilded warrior put to guard the burial chamber. The young king's golden throne embellished with precious stones and silver inlays. On it you see him with his queen in the garden where Aten, the sun disk, sends down his magic rays. Never had modern man stumbled across such treasures, buried since antiquity and preserved in the dry white limestone of the tomb. It took meticulous experts 10 seasons to list, examine and preserve the contents of this unique tomb. From such pictures of the king fighting in Asia, the crumbled remains of his chariot were renovated and reassembled with all its original adornments. And these are the treasures of just one of the younger, obscure and unimportant pharaohs who lived and died long before Greece had been born, ages before Rome had even been conceived. In the Egyptian Museum at Cairo, his caskets, his gold-embellished stools and alabaster vases are now on display, ancient wonders in a modern city, which in 100 ways brings the fascination of the pharaohs right into the 20th century. You can fly by jet aircraft to the pyramids. You can see the Sphinx lit by the rising sun or dramatized by floodlight. You can take a taxi to Tutankhamun's incredible treasure trove. You can look out on the great river of history, in silence, for you can almost hear Get, the earth god, saying to that boy king, "Thy name is in the mouth of the people, thy stability in the mouth of the living. Thou smellest the air and goest out as a god."